What's up, Solarpreneurs? Today we're going to go over 3 ways to make your solar appointments super sticky, icky, rock solid, however you want to call it. So if you are struggling with appointments falling through, people ghosting you, or just having a low book to sit ratio, then this episode is for you. Welcome to the show. My name's Taylor Armstrong. We're here to help you close more deals, generate more leads and referrals, and have a much better and easier time in the solar industry. At the time of this recording, we're coming up right away on the holidays. Can't believe it. We're a week away from Thanksgiving. And with that holiday time comes typically more ghosted appointments and more people just putting things off because they don't want to look into it now. So thought, let's do an appointment on how to reduce those. So before we get into the episode, we are starting a blitz. You heard me talk about a blitz. We're actually in the middle of the blitz right now. Taking a little break to record some content for you guys. But wanted to mention, if you are interested in future blitzes, we have the link still open. So put your name on the waiting list for the next one. And we will come at you first come, first serve when we have the next blitz rolling out. But we are having a great time here, snagging tons of appointments. So go add your name to the waiting list. All right, but let's talk about how this thing works of setting solid appointments. Okay, we've mentioned ways to solidify the appointments. We've all had the typical trainings. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few things maybe you've heard of. Okay, but the third one is something new that this is actually one of our top setters has been doing. And it's something that's made the set to sit ratio skyrocket a lot higher than I've seen other people. So stay till the end if you want to hear this little method that I haven't done that's been working really well. Okay, but the first two are just as important. Okay, and here's number one. Number one is this, and it's don't be afraid to lose the appointments. What do I mean by that? I see this all the time, especially with newer appointment setters, is they'll go out there, they'll knock some doors, however you're getting your leads, and they'll say whatever to get the appointment. But then the minute some resistance comes around, they downplay it, they don't overcome things, and they just leave it like a very loose appointment. Sometimes they don't get the phone numbers. Okay, I've been with setters who are like, oh yeah, I'm not going to ask for the phone number or email. I'm not going to try to ask for the bill. That could make them think this is a really big deal, or oh, we're scamming people. And they tell themselves this story that the more information they ask, or the longer they're with the homeowner, the higher likelihood it is that it's going to cancel. Because they would rather just get, oh yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, you can pop by with some information. You can put something in my mailbox. And they take that as an appointment. Many times these are like the furthest thing for an appointment. They don't have a bill. They don't have a phone number. Okay, and I've learned, you can set appointments without a bill. There's actually some of the top setters don't get bills a lot of times. So I think it's okay to not always set it with a bill. I think you should make an attempt, but to not even attempt getting the phone number, or to another big one is when they ask, oh, how long is it going to take? Oh, it'll take 5 minutes. And oh, your wife doesn't need to be here. Okay. Just things like this, little things that people let themselves get walked all over. But you get the point here. If you set appointments scared, if you set appointments like you're letting the homeowner dictate how things are going to be, then your sit ratio is going to be very low. And people are going to just throw things at you. You're going to go back. You're going to get ghosted. So great book. If you've not read it, go read the book Pitch Anything by Warren Claff. He will teach you how to create these frames and how to sell with you being the person in charge rather than the person that's getting walked all over. Okay, so that's number one, is don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. Don't be afraid to ask for a solid appointment time. Don't be afraid to tell them the truth about how things actually are. Don't say that they're going to save $100 a month when you know that most likely it's going to be a $20 per month savings. Okay, if you're new, then just don't even mention savings at all. Just say, hey, I don't know. They'll come back with that information. Hey, but that is the first step. Don't sell scared. Go out there, sell that appointment, make it solid. Okay, and then number two is creating movement. All right. And this is something that's, if you've worked with any pest control people, they're big on this and creating movement as you're setting an appointment, as you're selling. Hey, and I think this also applies to people closing deals, but when it comes to setting appointments, how can you create motion, right? They say motion creates emotion. Okay, so when I was in pest control, we were taught to take people outside to show them the eaves, show them where all the spider webs were, lots of hand motioning, pointing out ants on the sidewalk, and actually bringing them out to those places so they could see. And then what happens when we did that, people opened up a lot more, and we were much more likely to get the sell when we created that movement. So in solar, how do you create the same movement? Okay, maybe you can bring them out, you can point to the power lines. Maybe you can bring them out, have them look at the electric panel with you. Maybe you have, like a slick you're trying to have them grab. Okay, that's not a ton of movement, but hey, it's better than nothing. If you have a slick that they can grab through the door, actually open up the door, so they have to grab the slick. All right, so create some type of movement. Okay, and one of my biggest tips is getting inside the home. We've done quite a few podcasts on this already. But if you can get inside the home, that's the ultimate motion. Okay, because once you can get inside the home, the spouse is going to be there. They're going to give you more time. Your likelihood of actually getting the bill and all the information goes way up. So try to get in the home, but if you can't get in the home, then bring them outside. Show them the power poles. Point out another neighbor you're helping. Whatever you can do to get them outside off the porch, it's going to help you book a more solid appointment and help you increase your likelihood of that appointment sticking. Last but not least, this is the one that's new to me, okay, that one of our top setters has been doing. And that's this, is when you're actually setting the appointments, just getting them emotionally bought into that and making them feel like if they don't set this appointment, then you're going to get in trouble, that we invest a lot of time. So it's creating that social pressure that we are investing time in this, that we are putting work into preparing the design. And the specific line has been working really well for us that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode is telling them that we come from a long ways away. Okay, so one of my top setters right now, he always says, oh, they come from really far. Our energy consultants, they come from far away. It's like a 2-hour drive a lot of times for them. So, and if you guys aren't here, I get a ride up. So you'll for sure be here tomorrow, right? There's no way you wouldn't be here. Okay, great. And then what that does is when he tells people that we're coming from far, okay, right? And you don't need to lie about this, but in our case, we do actually have energy consultants that do come from far. Maybe that's not the particular one that's going to their house tomorrow, okay? But just mentioning that we do have people coming from long ways away. It may be this one that's coming, or maybe it is someone that lives closer, but hey, they don't need to know which one it is, right? You can tell them people come from afar. And then what this does is it either makes them look at a calendar and like double check, make sure they're really going to be there. Or sometimes they'll just reschedule it to a much more solid time because they're like, oh, you know what? Yeah. If we have to be here, let's do it at this time because I want to make sure I can for sure be here. And then all of a sudden you get a much more solid appointment time. All right, so this line has been working extremely well, telling them that we come from really far to run these, you don't need to say appointments, but to pop by with the information for the home. And then just saying stuff like, we actually can get in big trouble if you guys aren't here because they do put some time into this. So there's no reason you wouldn't be here, right? Telling them you get a write up, telling them you get in trouble. Just making them feel that social pressure because naturally human beings, they don't want to let other human beings down. And if they know that there's like a punishment on the line for you, if they don't show up to their appointment, then it's going to cause them to double check, to think about it, right? And of course, getting the spouse involved, getting in the home will help if you can get the spouse involved. But if you have to book an appointment outside with just one of the decision makers, then just making sure that the spouse will be there. You never want to set an appointment without the other decision maker. No matter how many times they tell you that they can make a decision without their wife or husband, don't believe them. That's one thing I've learned in 10 years in solar. People almost never will make a decision without their spouse. Okay, so make sure you do those things. And I promise if you apply those principles, you will be setting more solid appointments. You will have sticker appointments during this holiday season and beyond, and you will make a lot more money as the holiday busier season comes up. Hey, so if you are listening to this before the holidays, I would push as hard as you can. We're in a competition right now because we know things do tend to get a little bit slower during the holidays. So you should be pushing extremely hard right now. Try to snag those as many appointments as you can before the holidays. Keep working during the holidays, but now you know how to set a more solid appointments. So I hope these tips helped you out today. Let us know if you have any suggestions for topics. We are needing more guests on the show to keep bringing you quality content. So please hit us with your favorite people in the industry or anyone that's dominating in solar right now. We'd love to hear from them. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.